Hello YouTube and TRADEPRO. Today we've got an exciting video for you. It is a Sierra charts tutorial video actually, so we're going to be teaching you how to set up charts on Sierra charts from scratch, absolutely nothing. This is the chart book from nothing here, as you can see on my screen. And we're going to go through some of the customization tools and also trading in Sierra charts today. So guys, if you really enjoy what we do at TradePro Academy, if you don't really want to miss any of the videos, please go and hit that subscribe button right down at the bottom on the screen, and we're going to get started with this. So first things first, on Sierra charts, this is what you get when you do open the platform. And remember, like we said last time, you just go into file, and what we're going to do is find a symbol. So since we trade futures super actively, we're going to go into the ES futures, so the S&P 500 futures, and we're just going to create charts based on that. Now let's find the S&P 500 futures EP right here. We'll go and click the December expiry, and what we're going to do is open an intraday chart. Now what that does is it opens this black chart you'll see in just a minute. You can see down here it's a 1 minute chart, so chart number 1 is going to be a 1 minute chart on the S&P 500, and let's see what it looks like, guys. Now this is what we get. This is the 1 minute chart on the S&P 500. It's a bar chart. Now what we could do is create multiple different charts. So today what we're going to be showing you guys is time charts, range charts, volume charts, reversal charts, and also Renko charts. So there's a plethora of different charts that you could actually use, and we're just going to go through them and what they could do for you. Now this is a minute chart. Trading futures is a little more difficult based on a time frame chart, so that's why we have all these other different charts. Why is that? Because futures move tick by tick, and you really want unfiltered data and unfiltered charts to trade this futures market. If you go by a 1 minute chart, a time chart, it restricts the actual movement to an actual time frame. Now we don't want to do that. Look how choppy and weird it looks. So if we actually go into the chart settings by right clicking this chart, you can see you have a plethora of options here. For one, you can change the symbol. Two, you can change the different kind of chart. So right now it's just a bar chart, open, high, low, close. We can go to a candlestick chart, candlestick body only, line chart, mountain chart, whatever it is. And here in bar period type, you have all these different charts that you can choose from. Now, for now, we're just going to keep it to a time-based chart. So days, minutes, seconds per bar. It gives you what it is right here, and you can just change that. So 1 minute chart is a 0-1-0 chart. Now, what we are going to do is just turn this into a candlestick bar chart. There you go. That's what it looks like. Now you can see some of the candles are actually missing here because they are black candles, and a easy fix to that is if we go into chart after selecting this chart and go into the graphic settings of the chart. Now what you want to do is unselect these, use global graphic settings instead of these settings because you want to make your own settings. Now if we change the chart background to a gray, we'll see what the candlesticks are, white and black, and you have all these options. Now if you have candlesticks, what you want to do, or what you might want to do, is change the colors of the candlestick. So a candlestick up outline, if you just change that to a green, you'll see that the outline for the white bull candles are green. Up fill, if you just change that to green as well, you'll see it changes the candles to green. And down, you could either have the white and black candles, or you can just change them up and have them red and green, as is usually the case. So a little Christmassy, but this is what it looks like based on the 1 minute chart now. 1 minute chart, you can see some of the price action, you can see some of the movement, but generally tick by tick is usually a lot better on futures trading. Why is that? Again, because that's how they move. Now if we have this chart right here, minimize it, we can create a 4-quadrant chart space so you can actually see what all the other charts look like. So we're just going to go time chart, range chart, we'll do a volume chart and a Renko. So it's super easy to just grab this chart and duplicate it rather than redoing the whole process. So if we just select this chart again, we go chart, duplicate chart, you'll see we get a second version of this chart. Now what you could do is, these charts are actually attached to this main page. Now if you select this chart, go to chart and attach all windows, you can see you can move it to your other windows if you have multiple screens. Now if we go and attach this again, this is what we get. We can put it back into the same screen. Now we have 2 time-based charts here. What we want to do is turn this right one into a range bar. So what that is, range per bar standard in ticks. So if we go to a 5-tick chart here, each time it prints 5 ticks from the open or close of from the open of the candle to the close of the candle, you will get a new candle. Now this is what it looks like, a lot cleaner. You can see it might not move as much because it's not restricted to time, it's restricted to the actual movement. So this whole move here might look like a lot on a time chart, but this is what it looks like on this range chart. Now if you grab the x-axis down here and just drag it, not pressing anything but just dragging it, you will see that it kind of condenses the chart and shows you a little more chart action. And from there, if you just drag it side to side, you'll get it to move up or down, get it to move. If you hold control on your keyboard and actually extend it, you can get a wider move from there. Now we can do the same for this chart right here, extend it just a little, and you can see which chart looks a little cleaner here just based on what you see from these two charts. Now we could differentiate these. Let's go ahead and change the background of the range chart something different just so we kind of have an idea, a very clear idea of what the charts are going to be. So see, we changed it to white, and now the text color is white, and it notified us that we won't be able to see the text color. We could either change the text color or just change the background into something a little different, again, just so we can really see what's going on here. So if I just change it to a different grayscale maybe, so it's a little lighter gray than this one, just to differentiate the two. Now, next up, we're just going to duplicate this chart again. So now we've got 3 charts here. Let's make it an even 4 quadrants. And what we're going to do with this chart is actually turn it into a volume chart. So you can do volume per bar. Now what does the volume per bar chart do? Every single bar prints a certain amount of volume. So every single bar will print 1,000 contracts. 1,000 contracts of movement are in every single bar. Now that looks pretty clean too. You can see the rotations pretty well here. It looks kind of similar to the time-based chart actually, which is interesting. A little more so than the actual range chart, but you can see the rotation super clear. Again, let's just change the color of the background here just so we can differentiate them all. Let's do like a super light blue. So that's our volume bar, and then we've got one more to show you guys here. Duplicate the chart again, throw it down here, and then what we're going to do is, remember, chart settings, and then we're going to change it to a Renko right here. Renko in ticks, this is what we want to see. So how many ticks? Let's go a 5-tick Renko. And the Renko is super cool because what it does, it really outlines the momentum of the trend. It won't turn a different color or a different candle until the trend changes. Look at that, really good to identify if the trend continuation is going to hold and if it's not. Now to differentiate that, you don't really need to differentiate this one because it's evidently a lot more different visually than the others. But let's just change the background here to a pretty light green. So there are 4 main charts here. You can go into the graphic settings as I showed you guys. It's really easy to change the graphic settings on the charts, especially the actual writing, so the font. So if I again just change the font, maybe you want to change the chart text, I'll just select that, and you can see right here we can change it to black, change it to white, whatever you want. So let's just go ahead and look at that again. Chart text from white to black here. You can change the fonts in here, whatever fonts you want. So if I apply this, you'll see this chart changes into the black font text. So this one a little more dark. Sorry, this one's a little more light, so you really want to change that color, change the colors just so you can see the numbers really well. Now there's a lot more different tools here in the graphic settings. You can see whatever it is, when you go into the DOM, you can customize the DOM really well. It gives you all these DOM customization tools. You're really going to have to play around this, but look at this. Buy column line, sell column, everything to do with the chart DOM. You can change everything. So if you don't like the chart DOM that comes with Sierra charts, you can easily change it. Now, here's some really great charting tools right here, really great charts for futures trading especially. I really like to focus on the range bar and the constant volume bar. Sometimes the Renko just to see the direction of the move, less so the time chart. Time chart, a larger time frame to really see those extended moves and plot out potential support and resistance levels. Now, another cool tool other than actually trading on the DOM is you can enable this chart trading mode. So if I go into trade and I go chart trade mode on, you could actually place limits at these areas, right? So if I just select it, you can see it pressed the limit, selected a limit at that area, right? So now if I right click that, cancel all, flatten and cancel, and we can get out of positions just like that. If I click at certain areas and right click the actual chart, you can actually set a sell limit, buy limit, whatever it is, reverse, cancel, flatten. So if I set a sell limit right at this area, it'll bring confirmation menu up, right? And what I could do is actually move it. So like, let's say I want to get in aggressively here and I accept the confirmation. You can see we're going to get in if it goes into the 36.5. And what you can do is also set a buy stop. So that would be your stop loss, and just move that from there. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do that really effectively on the, let's just get in on this position. If I move it down there, you'll get in automatically at a market order, and we'll put the stop down there. So it's really cool that you can do that on the chart, but I'm going to show you guys how to use it on the DOM as well. So if I just select this and I go flatten and cancel all, it'll just get me out of all the positions, flatten all my orders, and that'll be that. Now if I go into trade and I select trade mode for the chart, you can see I actually have a DOM on the chart, so I could actually place sell limits here, exit them, or place buy limits below. That's a cool little tool to use, especially if you have just a larger chart like this. You could really extend it, open it up. It tells you where the price is really well. If I just unselect that here, and we actually open a DOM. So this is what the DOM looks like when you first open it. And it looks kind of ugly. What you can do is actually detach this so you can move it around and actually change the graphic settings on the DOM itself. So by doing that, again, you'll go into chart, graphic settings, and you really want to unselect this, the use global settings for this graph, and then go down into the trade DOM and really change up what you want this thing to look like. Now, again, using the DOM, you can see every time I click, it'll give me a confirmation. If I go into the M right here, and I just unselect those confirmations, whenever I click, you'll see it'll just put the limits on without confirming them. Now cancel all cancels all the limits on the DOM. And what I really want to do is I want to use attached orders. So I select this, it'll open up a bracket for me. It'll have my entry on the buy side, a target for the sellers, and also a sell stop downside to stop me out. Now I can change the tick size if I go into targets right here. If I just go 8 tick target, 5 tick stop loss, and then I go back into attached orders, and let's say I want to buy it down here for some reason, and you can see a 5 tick stop, 8 tick take profit. Now what you can do with trade mode on the chart is actually move these stop losses and targets like this, and it'll still have the confirmations. So that's a cool little tool here, but the chart DOM is not actually attached to the chart. So if you want it within this chart, in the actual chart book like this, like all the other ones are, remember what you'll have to do is go into chart, attach, detach, chart window, and then you can move it around here. If you don't want it in here, remember what we did, chart, detach, attach window, and have this guy floating around. Now, that was a really cool little tip on how to actually trade on the chart itself. These are just a few chart settings we have. You can customize everything you want on Sierra charts, open different chart books, so on and so on. It's a great platform. You can have all kinds of different charts. Some charts that we haven't even discussed are in this little study bar period type, and you just go in and let's say you want a reversal in ticks, and this chart turns into a reversal bar chart. Now, from there, again, a lot of things to play with on Sierra charts. Next time around, we're actually going to talk about how we look for some potential shortcuts, toolbar customizations, and actual trades on Sierra charts. So how we actually look to trade, use the DOM a little more, and how we identify some potential trade possibilities on Sierra charts. After that, we're just going to go into the drawing tool as well. We really like to outline the support and resistance levels, and we're going to give you a rundown on that. Now, this was a quick little update based on just the general chart settings, how to customize your own charts, how to start from nothing on Sierra charts, and some of the trade DOM settings with a lot of customization tools applicable to everyone. So you can make this thing look like whatever you want it to look like. And again, this is Victoria from TRADEPRO Academy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this Sierra chart rundown video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time around. Take care, everyone.